Coach, well, how did the first day practice go, just in general?
Yeah, it was great to get everybody back out there and get some helmets on and get out there running around and get out there and compete again. It was a lot of fun today. There's been a lot of energy, over the past couple of weeks just through some of the walkthrough stuff, and I think guys are being very attentive and trying to lock in. And again, I thought it was a great start. Kids were flying around, having fun. Just excited to get back out on the field with everybody and compete. We haven't been able to do that for a long time.
What have you seen from the fundamentals y'all have been teaching, and kind of getting everyone comfortable, getting everyone back in, as far as the fundamentals go?
I thought the first day back was pretty good. We obviously we need a lot of reps and a lot of work. We've had a lot of time off to where haven't been able to get out there and do one-on-one coaching and really fine-tune some of the things that we were trying to get accomplished before we left. But at the same time, I'm really excited about where our team's at. You can tell they've put in a lot of work during this time to where guys came back ready. A lot of guys came back in great shape and changed their bodies. And you can tell that out there kind of day one, their fundamentals were pretty good. Again, we have a lot of things we have to work on here in the next few weeks in order to get ready. But again, I thought it was a great start from our men.
Where's the main focus for y'all at this point with starting kind of late? Just where's the main focus for y'all as a coaching staff to try to figure out where y'all want to take the biggest steps forward?
Well, the biggest thing, as you said, it's fundamentals of football. We got to try to keep it simple: offense, defense, and special teams, and let our guys go out there and play fast and make plays. The worst thing we could do right now is make our systems extremely hard, make it overcomplicated to where guys are not only having to worry about getting back in shape, not only having to worry about their fundamentals, but then also having to think a lot about what to do during a play. And biggest thing is, I feel like our team is at a point to where we got playmakers on all three phases, and just getting back to fundamentals, making sure we're sharp as possible in that aspect, learning the system, because in all three phases, obviously, we have new coaches in those areas to where there'll be some tweaks here and there, but the biggest thing is just going out and playing fast, letting those guys go out and make plays for us, and I feel good about our group.
One of the big storylines in college football now is with guys that have decided to opt out of the season. There's been, some pretty prominent players that have opted out across the board. Have you guys had any players choose to opt out of the season? And if so, who are they?
We haven't had any. I haven't had any conversation with the guys that want to opt out. I think, looking across the country, every situation's different. And at the end of the day, everybody has to make personal decisions, what's best for them in their future, how they feel, and that's how I feel. At the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you and your family, and so we haven't had that here. But again, at the same time, who knows what the future holds? And again, just making sure that these men understand we're going to do everything possible and our possibility to make sure we put their safety and their health first. We're making sure we're following the right protocols to keep guys safe, because that's the most important thing. But as of right now, that's what we're doing. And again, everybody's been excited. I think everybody's excited to get back on the field.
Now, you guys have had some positive tests here and there across the athletic department. Have you guys had any additional guys that have had to quarantine at this point or have been taken out of practice?
We've been really good. We had another round of testing. I think it was 2 days ago. I don't know the exact number of tests, but we tested our team, coaches, trainers, and we all had negative tests. So the last round of testing went really well.
Seth, I saw a picture yesterday on Twitter of a college football player with a mask inside his face mask. And I'm just curious, do some of your players also do that? And how much harder does that make it for guys to train? I mean, I have a hard time sitting at my desk, just sitting there with a mask on all day. I can't imagine trying to go through a football practice wearing one.
Well, again, we're going to do everything possible to make sure our guys are safe and continually to stress it. There's a lot of things that are going to be challenging and maybe uncomfortable at times. And so, but those are the protocols in place, and I know our guys want to have a football season. So they've been great. There's no I haven't heard any complaining or this or that about what our protocols are. And so, again, I think the biggest thing that I see is a bunch of guys that are just excited to get back on the field together. It's one of those things where you leave spring break, you think you're going to be off a week, come back and get through spring ball, and then it gets taken away from you. You realize that you can't take anything for granted. So the times that you have together, the opportunities you get with each other, I think our team's handled it very well, and I just think they're excited to get back and competing.
You guys have a lot of assistants on the staff that you've worked with before in the past, with Eckler, with your new DC. Is that familiarity, is that helpful as you guys start out on this quick run up to the season?
Oh, it definitely is. And anytime you've worked with somebody and had relationships already and friendships with, been on the same staff with, it's always it's an easier transition, that's for sure. They know what my expectations are, and I know what their expectations are on the same line. And so it definitely makes it an easier transition. But at the same time, just because I've worked with them doesn't mean our players have. And so they've had to spend a lot of time, making sure they're developing the relationships, across our team on all three phases, and making sure that, they're communicating the right ways to install their systems. And so it's been great having those guys. I'm really excited about this coaching staff. I think it's a great staff. I think not only great coaches, but I think philosophies, personalities. I think that's as important as anything. And man, I'm having a lot of fun coaching ball right now with those guys.
Seems like every day, Coach, there's a twist and a turn in terms of how COVID-19 is impacting what college football could be in the fall. How do you, what's your message to your players about the fluidity of this time and this situation? Do you have one?
Yeah, I just think focus on your job as of right now. We can sit and worry about the future all day long, but it's not going to help anybody. What helps is, as of right now, I'm locked in and focused in on getting a day better. We have the opportunity to go out there and compete and practice. We're going to get better and just following the proper protocols that we have in place. And at the end of the day, you can't control this situation, and so why try to control the situation? All you can do is the best job as a leader, as coaches, as players, just to be safe and just eliminate things that you can control. And we can't worry about everything. Eventually, either we're going to be able to get in this season and go compete and play a lot of games, or we're not. And so why worry about it until it comes?
Seth, I'm curious, just when it comes to getting guys in the workouts and how you tailor your practice plan, have you had to make any adjustments because guys haven't been through a normal spring, haven't been through a normal summer? I guess what kind of adjustments have you had to make, if any, to kind of what your practice plan is?
Well, there's no doubt. Obviously, we haven't been around these guys since a lot of the 1st of March. And so, again, we've done a lot of Zoom meetings and had a lot of meetings throughout quarantine, and it just shows you that I think a lot of our guys, took it very seriously, but at the same time, they were still preparing their bodies for this day to come, to where they could get back in and start working out. I think to be honest, I'm a little surprised to be where we're at. I think our guys handled it that well. We have a lot of guys that have changed their bodies and look great. They're in shape, but of course, you're going to have to tailor it. It's not just like the old school to where you've had them all spring, all summer, and now you're getting into fall camp. And anymore, you get to that point, it's a year-round job. So they're in pretty good football shape. So we got to make sure that we tailor our practices to where we're getting enough work. We're making sure we're getting the fundamentals that we need, but at the same time, making sure that we're taking care of their bodies and making sure that we're not having any unnecessary injuries due to over practicing. I think that's our job as coaches, as leaders, to make sure that we do everything possible for that. And also, it's, the players have to hold themselves accountable to making sure their nutrition, their rest, their sleep, kind of where they're at and hanging out, they got to hold themselves accountable as well. So, but so far, so good.
What's the bottom line for you guys? You just feel good about where you're starting from, just in general, with the way you guys handled the situation with the pandemic, with the way your kids came back? Are you guys just in a good place?
I'm in a
As
good
far as
place. I'm in a good place because of where we're at right today. That we're out on the field again, being able to get around each other, being able to, again, go out and practice, sit in the film room, watch tape, being around the guys, being around the coaches. Again, you take this thing for granted if you're not careful. Just the little things you forget about, just sitting in meetings and watching tape with your staff, or being around your players, not only on the field but just in the cafeteria, seeing them face to face. That's what I'm excited for. And at the end of the day, we're gonna get our team ready to go out and compete and win football games. But I'm just excited and feel extremely blessed to be out there on the field again, having fun.
Like for you to be in a situation where Bowen's on your staff. If I'm not mistaken, you guys were at Kansas together when you were a graduate assistant. Isn't that correct? And what's it like to have him on your staff at this point after that?
Oh, he brings a wealth of knowledge. I've been around Clint for a long time. He was one of my mentors when I was a graduate assistant. A matter of fact, early on, he actually coached running backs my first year there before he moved back over to the defensive side of the ball. And so I got an opportunity to kind of work with him at running backs. And we always have had a great relationship. I've always looked up to him, and he's always had a lot of great wisdom and advice for me. He's been around the game for so long. He's coordinated at a high level in a Power 5 conference. He's cut his teeth and probably one of the most explosive offensive conferences in the country, in my opinion. And so, what he's been around, the guys that he's coached, developed, just being able to still see, which doesn't surprise me at all because of our relationship, but just watching him, just with all the different guys he's coached, who he's mentored, not only guys in the NFL, but outside, just the relationships they still have and how they still talk, that's important. And so it's been awesome having him on staff. And, he's one of those guys that I feel like he's a guy that I can really lean on because I feel like he's a head coach. He's been around it for so long. He's been in that interim position before, and quite honestly, I think he's gonna be one heck of a head coach.